So before we begin programming the JavaScript portion, I'd like to quickly go over the algorithm with you guys. The algorithm we'll be using for the calculator relies on the stack. Okay, so the stack is a very basic abstract data structure. Kind of looks like this. Okay, so if you think of a stack of, empty boxes. And what we do is we put a pointer to the top of the stack. So with an empty stack, it just points to the bottom. Okay, so then we have two basic operations. We have push and we have pop. So I'll show you push first and then pop will come later. In this example, we're going to push 4. So what happens is the 4 is going to get put at the top of the stack. So that is this box, this first empty box, and then the top of the stack is going to move up to then point at the next empty one. So that looks like this. So the 4 goes in, and the pointer goes up. And then we'll do push 9. So same thing will happen. The 9 will go into this box. The pointer to the top of the stack will move up. Okay, push 27, same thing. Push 3, same thing. Okay, now we'll talk about pop. Basically, the stack is a first in, last out. So basically what that means is when we pop, we're not taking the first element we put in, which would be 4. That'd be a Q. What we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be taking the item that is being pointed at by the top of the stack, which is 3. So when we pop at this point, the value we get out of the stack is a 3. And then we decrease the pointer. So if we pop again, we'll get a 27. And then, of course, when we go back to pushing, the next empty space is now here. So we push 1, it goes back up. So it's pretty simple. And we'll be using this in our calculator algorithm. So I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, just some text, but hopefully you can follow along. We can think of our stack as an array. So an array is just a series of numbers. And what we're going to do is, if you start looking up here, we're going to start our stack with a 0. Basically, we just put a 0 in here, okay? When we input into our calculator, say the number 3, okay, so this is our input. So we go to our calculator, hit the button 3. What our algorithm is going to do is it's going to check the number on the top of the stack. Okay, so it's going to check what's in here, what's at the top of the stack. And if it's a 0, we're going to replace that 0 with a 3, okay? So check top of the stack, if 0, replace it with the input. And then we're also going to keep track of our operation. So right now it's just, there is no operation, so that's 0. Okay, so then next we're going to hit 1. So first we've hit 3, now we're hitting 1 on our calculator, okay? When we hit 1, what we're going to do is we're going to check the value at the top of the stack, which is right here. If it's not a 0, we're going to append the value to the top of the stack. It's a 3 here. We look at it. We say, okay, that's not a 0. We're going to append the input to the back of it and make it 31. Okay? And then operation stays at 0. Next thing on our calculator, so we've hit 3, 1, we have 31 showing up on our calculator. Now we're going to hit plus, okay? So when we hit plus, what happens is there's 31 here. We're then going to push a 0 to the top of the stack. Top of the stack goes up. And then we keep track of the 1. We keep track of the operation that we've pressed, and we change this operation variable to 1. So here I have a simple chart here. Plus would be 1, minus 2, multiply 3, divide 4. we now have 2 items in our stack. We have 31 and we have 0. Okay, then we do another input, and so that will be 5. So again, we check the top of the stack. The top of the stack is now 0. So what we do is we replace that 0 with the 5. Okay, we keep track of the operation. And then here I have us hitting equals. So when we hit equal, what we do is we say we check what the operation is. The operation is 1, so that's a plus. Then we perform that operation. So we pop the top 2 items off the stack. So we'll pop this item, which is a 5, and we'll pop this item, which is a 31, and we perform the operation. So 31 plus 5 equals 36. Okay, so we just pop these items. We push the 36 now. So now we have an empty stack, right? Because we've popped everything. We push that value to the stack. So 36 is here. And then we also push a 0 back. Okay. It might be a bit confusing without seeing the code and without seeing it in operation, but this is kind of the steps of the algorithm, and then we will code it. After we code it, you could check back here just to make sure you understand what's going on. Let's get back into the code.